Welcome back to Hedge Acres. In today's video, we're going to talk about Caucasian bees. So this is an exciting day here at Hedge Acres. We have some new bees, and they're called, or the variety is called Caucasian, and it's kind of warm out today. It's June, so it's a little bit late to be getting packaged bees in Oklahoma, but I've wanted Caucasian bees for a long time for a few reasons. First off, the Caucasian bees come from the Caucasus mountains in the Republic of Georgia. They are an old rural bee. They're supposed to be super calm, but they build up slowly. However, they have a really long tongue, so they can actually utilize nectar that's not available to some other honeybee varieties. And they winter really well. They stop brood production and make a small cluster for winter, so they're really good on stores. However, they're not a great bee for my area. I'm in northeast Oklahoma, so we get our spring nectar flow. It's going good right now. We're in the middle of it. We've had some hot weather for the past few days. If that hot weather continues, our nectar flow will dry up. But we get a nice spring flow, and then we hit that summer dearth where it's hot and dry and not much nectar out there. And then we usually get a smaller fall flow. The Caucasian bees build up slower than Italians or Carnelians or any of the others, so they're not ideal for this area. I've read about them for many years, and I've always wanted to get some. Granted, most of the bees in the United States are not so much a race or a breed. I prefer the term breed, but if you look at different literatures on honeybees, they usually call them races because they're subspecies of the main European honeybee. These bees have a gray color, and we'll look at them closer later when we're putting them in a hive. Just looking at the bees right now, they are they look a lot like Italians, maybe a little darker. I know in the pictures I looked at, the queens are really dark, so I can't wait to get in there and look at a queen, and we'll see how it is. When I put a package in, or even when I'm catching a swarm, I prefer, I say catching a swarm or putting package in, I prefer just wearing a veil anytime I check my bees. However, when I'm dealing with a package or a swarm, I do not want to use any smoke on them. When I'm checking my beehives, I use smoke on them, mainly on me and not so much on them. Okay, I got a package of the Caucasian honeybees. I've got my complete hive kit from Little Giant. So let's open it up. I went ahead and removed 5 frames, and the reason I removed 5 frames, I don't like to jostle this a whole bunch, so when I'm finished I'll be able just to set that in there like that, and the bees can come out on their own. First, before I get them out, let's get some sugar water for them. Went and got my sugar water. Let's give them a drink of this before we open them up. If you're catching a swarm, I like to give them some sugar water as well before I catch them. My spray bottle is not very good. Okay. I'm going to take the top off. Usually it's still sealed when you get this top off of it. Those wires will get your fingers too. So it's still sealed. So you can see right here is where the queen's going to be. And there's syrup in there. So let's see the queen. I don't know if we can get a good image of the queen on here. She's pretty small but pretty dark. So let's hope once she gets to laying better, she'll grow a little bit. Has candy on one end, and the other end will just have a plug underneath this metal. I'm going to take the cork plug out of this and then let him chew through the candy, and I'll drop her in there. One of the nails on this top part will work great to get that cork out. Okay, maybe not great. There we go, got the cork out. Candy's available. So let's set this to the side. I'm going to put the queen here between two frames in there. Now the one thing we have to be careful about, because I'm putting this upside down, they have to dig up. It's possible a bee would die and block that entrance. So I don't want to leave her in here too long. But I will give it a day or two before I turn her loose. The bees still have access to the wire, so they can feed her and give her water. If I was using a frame that already had comb on it, I would take this end off and I would smash it into the comb and let them release her on her side like that. But since I don't have comb in here, this is what we're going to do. I will come back in probably 3 days and see if she's out. If she's not, I will turn her out at that time. You can see I don't have too many bees escaping now. I'm going to open up the side, and that will let them get out more, and I will just set this in there. It's important when you set this in there, you come back in a few days and remove it. Because if you don't, the bees are going to build comb, they'll have comb all over this, and you'll have a huge mess. So if for some reason you don't think you'll be coming back, don't do it like this. So I've got it loose. You can see right here. So I'm going to set it in here and open that frame back. And the bees can go in there. I prefer, you'll see a lot of people and they'll take them and knock them out. And I feel if you do that, and you do it once and you knock them out, great. But if you have to spend a lot of time doing it, you're just disrupting those bees so much. So I prefer to do it this way. It is very important I come back in just a few days and remove that. Otherwise, I'm going to have comb built everywhere. So those bees, they still have access to that syrup can. And they will move over to the combs with the queen. And in 3 days, I'll come back, make sure the queen's released, or release her at that time. Remove the package, and then put the 5 rings back in. Okay, hold up. Did I really just say leave the package in there for a few days? Well, let me be perfectly clear. If you're not going to get back from there, and if you think there's any reason you might not, don't do it because you'll have a wreck. A little bit. Okay, so I've got a medium, I've got the telescoping outer cover, inner cover, and we have the plastic foundation wax covered. We're going to just take out a few of those frames 4 is what I picked up. We go ahead and spray my packages with some sugar water. Okay, let's move this right over here. When you get more than one package, they're hooked together. Your hive tool works great as a pry bar. Didn't go as smooth as I wanted, but that's okay. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this top board off. Okay, we have the same thing we saw earlier. We have the can of syrup. We have the queen here. A few bees came out with her. Let's see what we've got. Don't think you'll be able to see her in there. She's really small. So, you know, that does worry me a little bit, but these queens, and I don't know how they did it for sure, but they see they're laying and they pin them up or cage them up, and she'll gain size back when she starts laying eggs. So let's go ahead and we got the candy end. Now I do know these were shipped on Tuesday, didn't get here till Saturday. I could probably pull the cover off. The bees are acting pretty calm around her, but I'm still going to let them work the candy out. And one of those reasons is so they don't leave. So I'm just going to use one of those staples from the board. Try and get in there. One thing you can do, if you know that the queen's been in with this package for a number of days, you can puncture that candy just a little, and what it does, it just makes it a little bit faster for the bees to get her out. Same thing as before. These frames don't have comb on them, so I'm hanging her down. But if bees were to die or something, she might have trouble getting out. So I don't want to leave her. Normally with a new hive, I'd want to leave them in a place a week, at least 4 or 5 days. With these, I might come back sooner because I don't like leaving that like that. And what I could do, I could fix it so she's on her side, but we'll go ahead. Okay, now we're going to do like we did on the other one. We're going to take the little boards off. I think this works so much better than if you try knocking them out where the syrup is. So what I can do, I can pull back the wire and we'll get much better. Let me turn it so you can see. And pull back the wire, and I can do a couple taps. One to get them down and one to get them out. Now that does not get all of them. But it gets a lot of them. So I'm going to put the other frames in here. Now you can see I've got some dead bees in there too. which does not surprise me with the heat we have. Now, if you look, there's a lot of live ones too, so I don't think my dead rate is too high considering when I got them. And what I just tried to do was to bring them up the side so I don't smash too many. It does have a few more dead than what I normally like to see. But we'll let it get started and see how it goes. I'm gonna set the cage right here. Ah, that wasn't a bee sting, that's that wire. That wire will get you more than a bee will. So we're gonna leave this setting here. And there we go. Now we're gonna take the other. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we encourage you to comment, like, subscribe, and share. We'll be seeing you more.